I am Coach Ashley, and this is Coach Christina. We are the master coaches with Natural Heart Doctor, and I'm going to share my screen. We have a little presentation for you today. All right, so you should see my screen. We have the 100-year heart, why what and when you eat matters. So again, we're going to go through, it's a big presentation, but we're going to go through all this. Essentially, why what and when you eat is key to achieving that 100-year heart. And this is like something that we're both passionate about. There's just so much information out there. There are so many different diets out there. And really, you can just get pulled in all these different directions. Essentially, all diets work in the short term. That's a thing. But then again, all these diets end up failing. And so this concept of nutritional science is really complicated. It's incredibly confusing to begin with. Then you add in things like bias, funding, conflicts of interest, and just poor study quality. And it makes it so hard for people to get the truth about health and nutrition. So we're here today to kind of dispel myths and tell you the truth of how you can have the best nutrition for the 100-year heart. And most people have always been told essentially that they have to count calories in order to have a healthy weight, in order to have good metabolic health, and in order to prevent heart disease. And potentially your conventional cardiologist told you that. They told you to count calories and to go on some sort of a diet. But we're here today to tell you that that's just not true. The calorie reduction approach is a myth. It doesn't work. And we're going to teach you why during this webinar. And we're also just going to give you all the tools you need to achieve the 100-year heart, like I said. So before we kind of get into the meat of the presentation, essentially we're going to start out with kind of two strong summary statements that are going to guide us today. The first is that counting calories, again, does not lead to health. And the second is that real heart health is determined by your own level of cardiometabolic flexibility. And so this is kind of a big term, and we'll get into what that means, but essentially we'll define this term cardiometabolic flexibility as the ability of a human to adapt and to respond to changes in energy demand, to conditions, to activities. So an example of this is fasting. Another example of this is exercise. Those things require you, the human, to have really good metabolic flexibility to meet the demands of the body and to achieve these things. So essentially, this metabolic flexibility is physiological adaptability. It's your ability to adapt to different situations that you're going through. This determines health. Can your body adapt to and then thrive in things like a fasted state or a high stress environment or under physical exertion? These are questions to ask yourself. This adaptability, again, in simple terms, is like what our ancestors had. They had great amounts of this where they could go through periods of feasting and fasting and their cells were really strong. And this is literally something that's now being studied. It's something that determines health. So at the opposite end of the spectrum, then, we have this kind of cluster of conditions that we call cardiometabolic disease, which Christina will talk about. This is at the root of a lot of heart problems. It's things like type 2 diabetes, excess weight on the body, excess inflammation. And scientific studies have shown that with those conditions, you have the opposite. You have metabolic inflexibility.
So as Ashley said, real health, and including heart health and cardiovascular health, is really truly dependent on your own level of this cardiometabolic flexibility. And we like to call it cardiometabolic disease because it's not just the heart that's inflicted with this disease process. It truly is rooted in the metabolic system as well. So this cardiometabolic disease kind of, spectrum here, this describes all of these conditions beginning essentially with insulin resistance and progressing to the metabolic syndrome or even pre-diabetes, and finally to more severe conditions like cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes, all of these things that we know more familiarly as metabolic syndromes. So all of these conditions are grouped under the umbrella term cardiometabolic disease processes, as they're all related or share these risk factors like being overweight, obese, having dyslipidemia, high blood pressure, and even things like atrial fibrillation, which Ashley and I know a lot of our friends here in the crowd, have been in our AFib program and are followers of us because they have AFib. And metabolic changes are important settings for your cardiac cells under conditions because the cardiovascular system actually has to maintain energy balance for the body. This helps to preserve work output and efficiency of the heart cells. So your cardiovascular system is regulated by hormones, which control and adjust and remodel the heart metabolism. And one really key important hormone is insulin, which is the food storage hormone. You guys might have heard it been called that, or even the fat storage hormone. When you take a bite of food, essentially insulin then is released and the body goes into this storage mode, which is why it's also called the fat storage hormone. And all of this begins again with chronic spikes and dips in your blood sugar. So blood sugar being essentially on a roller coaster ride. And a lot of people know what this is like because you know what being hangry is like. If you've ever been hungry and angry at the same time, you might be experiencing a little bit of a blood sugar roller coaster. You might be in a little bit of a dip phase there. And then you get fed and you feel great. And maybe you're on a little bit of a sugar high and you have a little bit of energy spurt for a while. And then you just crash. And this just keeps repeating itself over and over and over again. So that is really the beginning of cardiometabolic disease processes, is when you allow those chronic spikes and dips in blood sugar to go over for long periods of time uncontrolled. Because this is going to lead to insulin resistance, which is very rarely caught early on because doctors mostly don't test for your beta cell function and like a fasting insulin test, which we do at our office with all of our patients. So if you're a patient of ours or work with us in any capacity and you've had this testing done, you know that we are always keeping an eye on your insulin state because we want to know how sensitive your insulin is. And the more sensitive we keep it longer in your life, the better your health is going to be. So insulin resistance and then chronically elevated blood glucose levels drive inflammation and ultimately damage the cardiovascular system. We're going to dive into a lot of these education topics in the program we're going to share with you guys. But essentially that blood sugar, when it's elevated in the bloodstream, that's extremely inflammatory and damaging to your arterial lining. So this is why we're concerned about that. This little snippet of this study here on the left, association between insulin resistance and the development of cardiovascular disease. There's so much research on this topic, but this was just a good kind of summary article. Basically, this article just goes into descriptions of how these things are intricately related. You really don't ever just have one isolated. You usually have a combination of the two. So this is what we really want to drive home the point of here is if you have a cardiovascular health concern, then you likely also have a metabolic health concern.
So now we want to touch on kind of these key risk factors that can lead over time to poor cardiometabolic health. And again, as I go through these, if you think about our modern lifestyles and how hard it is essentially to be healthy, it makes sense why all of us are at risk for poor cardiometabolic health. The first big one is a sedentary lifestyle. This is kind of common sense, right? If we're not moving, if we're sitting at our desk jobs all day, then we're going to be prone to insulin resistance and kind of the downstream effects of that. Poor sleep quality and quantity. And this is something that Dr. Wolfson talks a lot about, and maybe other doctors don't, but Dr. Wolfson knows that, sleep is imperative to how well our cells work. And so we need our beta cells of our pancreas, like Christina said, to respond and to listen to these signals like insulin. We also need sleep for other things, driving down inflammation, repairing some of these pathways. So getting poor quality sleep and poor quantity, not enough sleep, is going to be a big risk factor. And they've studied this in night shift workers and, how at risk they are for weight gain and heart disease and stroke and heart attacks. So sleep is a huge one, and it's something that we always coach around and kind of prioritize towards the top. Another one, again, is going to be poor nutrition. If you're eating a high carb or essentially a standard American diet, a SAD diet, you of course are at risk. We know this. What we want to do is tell people the truth, again, like I said, about nutrition. We want to come in and tell you where to get your carbs from, how much to have, and really what to focus on. And the hint here is more fat and more protein, and obviously very, very low carb. Another big one that we coach people, around a lot of is like eating or snacking frequently. This is a big one because every time you take a bite of food, you are spiking your insulin hormone. And this is what Christina said, it was a food storage hormone. So every bite that goes into your mouth, every calorie, yeah, we're not counting calories, but everything that goes into your mouth is going to spike insulin. And so the body says, hey, we need to go into storage mode. And so if you're always in storage mode, you can't actually lose weight and you can't keep it off because you're going to be holding on to that fat, right? So constantly eating later in the day, constantly snacking between meals, that is like one of the biggest risk factors for poor metabolic health. And again, unfortunately, that's where they also lied to us. They told us to eat many meals a day, many small meals. And that in turn, long-term causes people to have excess weight and to not be able to lose it. Another big risk factor, again, is kind of identifying belly fat, excess fat around your middle. They call that an apple shape. That's one of the biggest predictors of poor metabolic health, but also big risk for heart attack and stroke. And they've linked that fat around your middle. Another one, again, is just eating too frequently. Again, kind of like I talked about earlier, but just too much. So we want to tell you, again, like we said in this webinar, when and what to eat. And then last but not least is stress. So being in kind of a fight or flight mode, physical or mental stress is going to put burden on the body and put you at risk for high inflammation and poor metabolic health.
So to also put this in a little bit further perspective, we wanted to elaborate on some of those conditions that will be improved when you improve your cardiometabolic flexibility. And again, that flexibility of being able to change energy and fuel sources and adapt to your environment. So these are the kind of the things we're trying to harness the power of to improve conditions like high blood pressure, cholesterol, so dyslipidemia, if you have very high cholesterol numbers or abnormal ratios of cholesterol. Again, if you're a patient of ours, you know, and you're familiar with the particle size testing of cholesterol, which we're kind of more referring to here. We want to know if your particle size numbers are balanced. Inflammation in the body, is that unchecked or is that going a little bit haywire because of these impacts of the cardiometabolic system and those things not being in check? We need to make sure, again, that blood sugar is not wreaking havoc on the arterial and the vascular system of the body. And that is going to drive a lot of inflammation of your cardiac system. Also, atrial fibrillation and palpitations, these are going to be improved when we improve your metabolic health because all of these hormones and hormonal processes that are involved with regulating your heart and your heart rhythm and your heart function are going to be improved when we regulate your metabolism better. Cardiomyopathy, same thing there. And overall, just your cardiovascular functioning at large, because a lot of the huge benefits we're going after here too are creating more resilient cells in the body. So we are quite literally kind of reprogramming your cells to better handle stress. So of course, that is going to spill over and impact and benefit any of these symptoms or disease processes that probably a lot of you have found as a result of.
So what are the top ways essentially to achieve this cardiometabolic flexibility? On the screen here are some of our favorite ways to do it. The first is essentially focusing on when you're going to eat. So really adjusting the frequency of the meals. How many meals are you eating per day? Trying to limit that. And then again, the timing of those meals to be more in line with our natural biorhythms. So eating when the sun comes out, that's a big thing, and not eating when it's dark out. This is the focus. It's when you eat. And again, it's kind of mimicking how our ancestors ate, going through these periods, again, of fasting and feasting each day in line with nature. The second is focusing on what you're eating. So really focusing on, like I said, a high-fat animal-based diet. We don't want unnecessary carbs. We want to have a low-carb diet. That is what our evolutionary biology craves, essentially, and what we thrive on and how we're healthy. So we want to get back to the basics with this, with quality animal foods and quality fats. The next one is to move more and to sit less, and really doing, again, kind of these ancestral movements. Like, we're not telling you to go run 20 miles every day or anything like that. We're just saying get up, move more throughout your day. Don't be sedentary, and do things, again, that feel good. Walk, hike, bike, but getting out and doing it in nature is key as well. Sleep is also a big one. So working on, and first off, assessing your sleep patterns, right? How well you're sleeping, and then adjusting, really trying to get better sleep quality. And there is kind of a proper quantity of sleep that we talk about for good heart health. Not too much, not too little. So you need that proper amount of sleep. De-stressing is another big one. If you've worked with us, we do not want you in the sympathetic fight or flight state. That is not good. That is where disease happens. We want you calm. We want your nervous system balanced. And really that means little to no stress. And again, this is where that concept of this metabolic flexibility comes into play. If you have this and you're healthy in that manner, you can handle stress. It's people who don't have this, who are unhealthy, who then more stress comes on and it's a vicious cycle. They can't handle stress and they get sicker and sicker. But when you get this, you become stronger and you can handle these things better. So that's really what we want to point out. And all these things, again, are just working to optimize your own circadian rhythm, again, which then turns to help all of your hormones, help all of your cells, and really just help your body function better. The last one is fasting. So we aren't just talking about fasting from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next day. Our ancestors also thrived with longer fasting between their meals. And this is really what determined their level of metabolic flexibility or their ability to adapt. Our bodies were never meant to cope with kind of this extreme influx of food and calories all day long. We actually need breaks from eating, like purposeful breaks, like periods of time, periods of days with not eating in order to get healing and regeneration to take place. And this is a big one. They look at it for heart failure. They look at it for things like cancer. You really do need that. So our cells essentially may have lost their sensitivity to insulin, like Christina said, that insulin resistance. If that's the case, there's an overflow problem there. You can think of these cells kind of like if your sink was overflowing. What do? You just shut the faucet off, you open the drain, and essentially fasting, and especially in longer periods of time, dumps the excess sugar and fat out and resets your metabolic and your overall health.
So if you want to improve your overall health by improving your cardiometabolic flexibility, now that you know what that is, if you didn't know what it was before, then we have a solution for you. Especially if you want the 100-year heart. That is why that is our slogan here at Natural Heart Doctor, because we truly believe we can create the 100-year heart through changes in these lifestyle practices and kind of just rethinking how we live in this modern society that truly at every turn is really deteriorating our health. So we want you guys to know we have a solution for this. Even if it's been years and years of perhaps less than ideal lifestyle choices, then we are here to show you a way out of that. And also, if you think these habits and health changes due to this modern society are just set in stone and there's nothing you can do about it and you just have to succumb to it, then we're also here to prove you wrong in that, because there are ways that we can truly thrive even with all the stress and craziness of our modern world. Because the fact of the matter is, most chronic disease is a result of these poor lifestyle choices and habits and our lost knowledge of how our ancestors were really meant to survive and thrive. Our genes truly are mismatched to our environments nowadays. So we have to keep that in mind, and we have to be continuously interested in kind of hacking our evolutionary history to better survive in this modern world. And the way you do this is to fine-tune when and what you eat. So our solution teaches you about these concepts and really gives you the tools to continue optimizing your metabolic and your heart health. So you can either treat a heart condition that you're already dealing with or prevent one in the future. So we are introducing here today in this presentation our 100-year heart challenge. So also a little side note, this used to be called the Happy Heart Diet. So now it is our 100-year heart challenge. So any of our OGs here, our veterans in the group know what we're talking about here. This used to be the Happy Heart Diet. It is now the 100-year heart challenge. We are starting this on May 2nd. And this challenge essentially is 21 days where we are trying to build that 100-year heart, which includes a healthy heart, a strong heart, a well-functioning heart, and also a peaceful heart. We have to consider mind, body, spirit in the equation of healing. So this 21-day program really aims to educate, empower, and motivate you to take charge of your heart health and build that 100-year heart. So we teach you the right diet, the right fasting regimen. Also, if you've never done fasting before, oh my gosh, this is like a crash course on how to do it right so you don't run into kind of the rookie mistakes a lot of people make with fasting. Also, the right supplements that are going to complement fasting and the right diet that we're kind of combining in here to get you fat adapted for this program, and the right lifestyle techniques that are going to make your heart the strongest it's ever been. You are going to feel amazing after these 21 days. So this is just really, an introduction, this presentation. We want you guys to know the whole goal of this 100-year heart challenge is healing your cardiometabolic flexibility. And that's done by showing you when to eat and what to eat.
So in this program, again, we coaches, we designed it, but essentially we wanted to give you guys everything you needed to succeed. So we really designed this specific program. Again, we've done a lot, but we designed this program for people who need results without all the thinking and the stress that's involved. Maybe you're super busy, you're stressed, you don't have time for yourself, or maybe you find yourself just taking care of others. You're a caretaker, you're putting other people first, and you're not prioritizing your health. Or perhaps you just don't know where to start, what to eat, or when to eat. And if any of those things do ring true for you, again, we've taken care of that. We didn't want you guys to worry, and we just essentially took the thinking out of it. So for the 21-day program, we planned every step of it. And the success of the program is really due to this fact. It's that we're telling you when to have your meals, what to eat, and also when to take certain supplements too. So we give you the recipes, we give you the meal planning, we give you the meal timing, and give you kind of those weekly shopping lists. And I think that's just something that really makes this program novel. It's something that everybody really enjoyed the past few years that we've done it, was the simplicity of it. And then again, the lack of stress and the fact that then they could get successful results. So we just designed this program for people who maybe were feeling stressed and overwhelmed. And I think that's something also that's important to note. Like when you come to this natural medicine realm or wanting to get healthy on your own and do these good things, there's really information overload. And we also talk about this a lot. It's like you're subscribed to all these other doctors, these channels, these emails. And so you then have to maybe disseminate that and organize it. And it's just a lot. And so the takeaway was that we wanted this program to not be an added stress to your day-to-day life, just to simplify it. Even if you have a high-stress job and you work really long hours, you can still do this program because it's simple and it's easy to follow. And again, it's just amazing because we give you these tools, these guides, and then you can forever return to them too. So we also wanted it to be something where it was like a lifestyle change. We taught you how to do this. Like in the future, even if you don't join us, you know how to do these things and, retain that health.
Yes. So this advanced recipe and meal guide that Ashley's talking about, this is, I feel like it was such a success with all of our past participants in this program that I know all of them still use and still refer to. Even today, I know a lot of people have even led themselves through another round of the 21-day challenge themselves, using this guide because it truly was meant, like Ashley said, to be super user-friendly, something that wasn't going to add stress, was going to help you navigate what to eat and when to eat throughout the day, because we literally lay it all out for you. So it gives you a daily schedule of what to eat, all based on what we call the sunshine schedule. So this is what Ashley was kind of alluding to a little bit earlier, that we really try and optimize eating schedules to eating more within daylight hours. So when the sun is out, that's what our ancestors would have been doing. They did not have artificial lights to turn on when it was dark out so they could still continue eating late at night. like a lot of people do nowadays. So they had to eat when it was light out. And that's really what our genetics have been optimized and primed to benefit best with, is eating during daylight hours. So the whole schedule is kind of revolving around this schedule we call the sunshine schedule. Ancestral ketogenic recipes that put you into ketosis and get you essentially fat adapted, where your body is now primed and ready to use fat for fuel, which makes the fasting so much easier. So if you're someone who's worried about fasting, don't worry. We have literally thought of all these things that could go wrong with fasting. And again, we've designed this program so that we're avoiding all those pitfalls and kind of rookie mistakes most people make with fasting. It's also high fiber still, which is something that even a lot of times keto programs don't focus on, which becomes a problem. You still need that fiber to make your microbiome resilient and also to benefit the heart health. So we kept that in mind when we were creating these recipes as well. And then also it guides you on what to eat and what to avoid. So there's even a list of things to avoid, so there is no confusion of what you can and cannot have on this diet. So again, it's paleo and keto focused with recipes that are really jam-packed with nutrients specifically aimed for heart health and function. And it isn't just about what to avoid, but what to add in. So we don't want to think about what we're detracting or what we're kind of eliminating. It's about the nutritious and bountiful foods that we're adding into the diet to build better health and build a 100-year heart.
So during this challenge, and just like we did on the previous few challenges, essentially we walk you through 2 3-day water fasts. And yes, you read it correctly, you heard it correctly. We walk you through 2 separate 3-day water fasts over the course of 21 days, which is huge. And people always ask us, like, why 2? And essentially, one of the reasons was we actually wanted to capitalize during the 21 days of the program. We wanted to capitalize on as many days of fasting as we could for maximal health benefits while still making it friendly for beginners. And we also understand the willpower that prolonged fasting requires, and we wanted to essentially build up individuals' confidence to not only accomplish this feat once, but also twice, essentially, with our support, but then also the support of the group. And psychologically speaking, this is a big thing. If you're able to prove to yourself twice in 1 month that you're capable of something hard like this, there's a huge domino effect, essentially, of confidence that then can spill over into, other aspects of your life and your health journey. And that's really what we wanted to bring to people. And it's also what gets reported to us. So you do something new once, it's a test run, but then you do it twice, and essentially it becomes your practice. Again, going back to the whole thing where we wanted to equip you with lifestyle changes. And so this is what was meant to be a lifestyle change, that then you could take this and whenever you need to implement these water fasts for therapeutic benefit.
So this is what each week will look like throughout these 21 days, which is essentially 3 weeks here. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, so 2 days a week, we're going to be hosting an hour-long educational presentation for you guys. So myself and Ashley, this will include a PowerPoint presentation that we're going to share with you guys, just basically sharing the science, the benefits, all around this challenge and behind why we're doing what at each and every step. So you are really learning and immersing yourself in how we even designed this program and the why of every single thing in it as you go, which again, just gives you so much more, self-empowerment to have this knowledge. Knowledge truly is power. We don't want you to just blindly follow the steps here. We want you to know as much as Ashley and I do about these things and understand why these things are so hugely beneficial for your health. So we are big advocates of the education piece. So of course we include a lot of that in this program. And these presentations kind of cover the progression of each phase. We will kind of be walking you through, just like, throughout this presentation, we've kind of given you a rundown of cardiometabolic flexibility and how that works. We also walk you through each phase of this program, where there are different phases. We're kind of going after different benefits throughout to heal that cardiometabolic flexibility. So you're going to get tons of information and knowledge to back everything we're doing together. And Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, so 3 days a week, we're going to be doing live coaching sessions. And we're also going to be joined by our naturopathic physician, Dr. Lauren Latanza. And she's going to be sharing a lot of great tips and kind of just added strategies to benefit us through this program as well. And it's also just going to be a great Q&A time within our Facebook group and community. We usually get a lot of engagement in this program, which is something that I think has made it so successful in the past, is that people get really involved and invested together as a group. So there's a lot of shared momentum. And this is where you get the advantage of one-on-one coaching with Ashley and myself in a group setting, which is also super helpful because it's not as expensive as doing one-on-one coaching, but you're still getting a lot of those amazing benefits where we can directly answer your questions in real time. We're also just going to be fostering discussion throughout on how you guys are doing, any challenges you're running into, sharing your successes, discussing all the amazing benefits we're all working towards together, which really, again, gives us all just this shared momentum and this camaraderie together, which I think makes this program really what it is. And we just want to preface too, if you're not on Facebook, don't worry, we're still able to email you the recordings for every video, every presentation, and all of these Q&As that we're going to do. And you also guys are going to be getting 5 days a week, Monday through Friday support with us coaches and some from Dr. Latanza as well. So that's really crucial too. There's not rarely a moment where you're alone. Even on the weekends, if you have questions, if you throw them in the group, I'm sure another group member, especially people who have participated before, are going to jump in and answer your questions. So it's a really engaging program in that way. And just to give you an idea of how cool this is too, most of our coaching programs we do only have one call a week. Like we'll kind of meet once a week on a call, or maybe even once every other week, and then just email support between those calls. So with this program, this 21-day program, we are literally with you virtually face-to-face 5 days a week, every single week for those 21 days. So that's really cool. And again, even on the weekends, you're not completely alone. The group environment means that other people are going to engage and answer questions for you. And us coaches will be answering questions on the Facebook page really 7 days a week as well. And another benefit to this private Facebook group is that all of us Natural Heart Doctor coaches, including Ashley and also Allie and Laura, are going to be in there moderating and helping you guys constantly. So all 4 of us will be there to cheer you on, support you, and hold you accountable, most importantly. So for these 21 days, you will literally never have to guess. You will never be left to your own devices. We are with you every single step of the way, which just have to reiterate this again. You will not get this much hands-on support in any other program. And along with all of this, you also get lifetime access to our private Facebook group. So our past participants know this too. You can join any of the upcoming group programs anytime for this same, if we run the 100-Year Heart Challenge again in another couple months, you can do it with us again. And so again, most of our previous participants that are, a lot of them here that I've noticed today, they join us in each challenge that we host. So it's a really fun way to just reconnect with everyone and motivate each other again and continually make that progress together. And it is all hosted as an interactive group setting, which the benefits of this are really to provide a peer learning experience. And this shared intention creates really momentous energy that really propels you forward quickly, more so than you would be able to accomplish just on your own. And there's a lot of science behind this too that we always like to share. And this offers a higher level of accountability for you again, so you feel like other people are invested in your success. You're less likely to give up. And you learn from other like-minded individuals going on the same health journey as you. And so you're going to make new friends for life. A lot of our programs have fostered lifelong friendships, and we think that's really one of the most special things that comes out of it.
So we have some good questions coming in, and again, we'll get to those soon. But I wanted to read you a quick testimonial that kind of just summarizes, I think most people, can attest to this too who did the program, but essentially their experience with this specific program. So this was a testimonial and kind of recap from one of our past participants, Olivia. She said, the heart health coaching course with Carrington, Christina, and Ashley was outstanding. It was extremely well organized, an array of high quality information, often scientifically referenced, delivered in supremely congenial, patient, responsive, yet focused, efficient manner. They delivered big time. So thank you for that, Olivia. We just wanted to share that as kind of a summary of their experience.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of really awesome testimonials over the few times over the past couple of years that we've run this program. And that, of course, means the world to us, too, that this program has helped so many people and changed so many lives, truly. I also want to mention that included with this program in the price that you're going to see, $497, are these supplements that you see here. 3 of them, actually, the Optilipid, the Magna 5, and the Daily Defense. So these kind of complement, again, the fasting and the more keto paleo lifestyle that we're kind of going on for these 21 days. The Optilipid, that's a really amazing antioxidant blend that helps to lower cholesterol levels by improving liver function, but also through improving blood sugar, and it helps to aid in weight loss. So this product is really critical to help bring down insulin and really helps lower oxidative stress from the detoxification that fasting can kind of impart. So that one there's going to be instructions for in the meal guide. Magna 5, this is just 5 different forms of magnesium, particularly aimed at cardiovascular health support. And magnesium is involved in, of course, over 400 different enzymatic reactions in the body. And unfortunately, the healthy foods that we rely on do not contain the same amount of minerals as they once did, which means that supplementation of this key mineral is really critical for a resilient heart. And for the 100-Year Heart Challenge, we included this product to really help lower your stress, relax your muscles, help with your sleep, balancing minerals on fasting days, which becomes very important, and also to improve your mood. So all of the different forms of magnesium in here kind of work together to support the electrical activity of the heart and also aiding in normal blood pressure regulation. So lots of really amazing benefits from the magnesium we try to harness here. And then lastly, we have the Daily Defense, which there are 2 flavors, chocolate or vanilla. And every day we are just bombarded with toxins in our environment. So this burdens our immune system, our gut, and all of the cells in the body. So our Daily Defense is just an all-around nutritional shake mix that is your weapon to fight environmental toxicity. And it might just look like a protein shake, but it's actually a lot more than that. It is a functional food. And in the 100-Year Heart Challenge, we wanted to give you an easy way to prepare for fasting and to break your fast. So the Daily Defense Shake is really a perfect solution for that. It has lots of gut healing ingredients, liver supportive ingredients. It really has almost like a complete multivitamin in there. So just a really great product, again, kind of all in one.
Okay, so essentially the plan is that this is safe fasting, again, with expert coaches and also the doctors of Natural Heart Doctor. Now, again, we, the coaches, we created this program actually with Dr. Wolfson with safety and effectiveness in mind. We essentially wanted to offer you a guided approach for everybody who's wanted to try prolonged fasting, but maybe had questions about it, maybe we're on medications. Like, we wanted to offer safe, supervised fasting to get the results. So again, this program is 21 days. It's access to us, Christina and I, to Ali and Laura, to Dr. Latanza, Dr. Wolfson. All of us will be in there answering your questions and giving you that support and accountability. Again, we're going to teach you, like Christina said, how to prepare your body for prolonged fasting so that you actually feel really good not eating. That's our goal. Also, how to support your body best during the fast, how to safely come out of the fast, and then to repeat, again, with those 2 opportunities. So yeah, it's an amazing thing. And again, the great thing about this is that once you go through this program with us the first time, you essentially have all the tools to walk yourself through these protocols. You use it therapeutically, because that's what it's for, as many times as you want for the rest of your life. And again, you also have lifetime access to join us. And I think if you pop in and join us, you're going to realize how fun it is. And this is something else that we talk about, finding your tribe of like-minded people who want to get the 100-year heart naturally and don't want to be on pills and procedures. That alone is huge, to have your people and your friends. And so you make kind of all these lifetime friends and accountability buddies during this program. So both Christine and I are incredibly excited to do this again. And so that's one of the big things, is that lifetime access to the Facebook group and the program. And this is your solution for weight loss, for heart health, for reducing inflammation, for detoxing your cells that you can return to time and time again when you need it. And that's what we're excited about, is getting you this information, getting it into the hands of more people, and telling you that literally by not eating, fasting for periods of time, and then also eating the right things, that alone is repair to get a healthy heart and to keep it in that optimal state moving forward. And that's a big thing. So we don't want people to be stressed. Again, we don't want to add one more thing to your plate for you to worry about. We want to create a program, which we did, where there wasn't a lot of thinking. It was straightforward. You could follow it step by step. You could ask questions, and then essentially you could get the really good results. And again, that could be things like coming off of blood pressure meds. We've had so many people who came off of blood pressure meds during the 21-day program. It could also just be improving your lab results or just fine-tuning your health. There's so many successful testimonies essentially to this program and this method, and we hope that you guys consider joining us.
I also want to pose this question to you guys, especially if you have one of the conditions that we mentioned earlier on related to cardiometabolic health decline. What if you don't sign up? Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan of action that you're going to go through in order to heal those things? Do you know what you need to do to make that happen? Because the biggest mistake we see people make is that they don't have a plan, a coach, or a tribe to support them. So they still end up with this increased risk of cardiovascular disease, piling pharmaceuticals with all of the side effects that come with them, depression, burnout from feeling overwhelmed, lacking help and support, feeling lost, having that all start tomorrow mentality, which we've all had before, diminishing self-confidence to take control of your health, and also just another wasted year and another wasted month. You know, you could spend this month healing, or you could spend this month diving deeper into that rabbit hole of disease and ill health. So we don't want that for you. We would rather you to join us in this program to make the best of these 21 days with our support and guidance. And, you know, we don't want you to just be abiding by your conventional doctor and putting Band-Aids on your symptoms for the rest of your life until it's too late to fix the damage that's been done. We do not want that for you. Now is the time to implement changes to change your health trajectory. Whether you join our program or not, what we really want to educate all of you here today on is the fact that you need support, you need a team, you need the how-to, and you need a tribe of like-minded people. So if you don't join our program, that's totally fine, but we want you to have a plan. Think about that. Who is going to be your support and your guide? Make sure you look for that person or people. Make sure you find them. This is so important. It is really the often most missed aspect of healthcare, is having a support team and coaches, you know, to get you through this. And the time is now to get healthy and reach your health goals and start building that 100-year heart now.
So kind of after all that we've shared with you today, our solution is essentially this 100-year heart challenge that Christina and I created. We want to walk you through 21 days of exactly what to eat and when to eat. And we want to teach you these things. Again, hopefully you can tell today how passionate we are about education, referencing all these studies, and also just making it easy. And these kind of big lifestyle things, we want to make them stick. We're all about sustainability. So we want to get in, we want to change things, and we want it to last for a very long time. So we have this really big passion here at Natural Heart Doctor for getting to the root of disease. And in the case of heart disease, we know that it is intricately intertwined with metabolic health. And that was really our topic today. So even if currently you don't have any degree of heart disease or anything that you suspect, again, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure in any case. We believe always that starting these kind of big lifestyle practices are key for anybody early on. It's a total game changer, and it prevents disease down the road. It results in the 100-year heart span. So whether you know this information applies to you now or potentially down the road, essentially we think that you should give it a try. It is good for anyone to use. And again, we've seen so much success. We have the clinical results of it, of the participants in our program, of all the patients we put into this program. We know that it is life-changing. Achieving cardiometabolic flexibility is key, and having the ability to physiologically adapt literally solves most underlying health problems. So that's why we continue to host this every year and continue to educate around this important topic. It's truly our solution for many out there who are struggling with heart problems or dysfunctions, and they're looking to get healthy naturally.
So again, we want to reiterate what's included in this program. We've kind of discussed it a little bit here, but just to give you a fast and furious list here: fasting guide with step-by-step guidance, 21-day meal plan and fasting schedule, so you know what to do at every single step, exclusive natural heart doctor ancestral recipes, weekly shopping lists with everything you're going to need. So we take all the work of it out for you. You just have to follow the plan. 3 days a week of live group coaching sessions and Q&A with us and also Dr. Latanza making appearances. 2 days a week educational PowerPoint presentations with myself and Coach Ashley. The tools and education to continuously refer back to this program to regain and safeguard a healthy heart for life. Lifetime access to our private Facebook group so you can join challenges in the future with us. 3 different targeted supplements to enhance your results and complement the changes that we're making, and also just access to us expert health coaches for 21 days. And there's actually 4 of us, and then also Dr. Latanza. So you have access to all of us for those entire 3 weeks in that Facebook group, on the Q&As and the live chats. There's a lot of support involved.
Yes, and Dr. Wolfson too. He was making it known he's going to be in there and active too. So yes. Yeah, it's going to be great. So just briefly again, health benefits to joining the challenge. We've seen this. It's reduced inflammation, it's weight loss, it's better blood sugar, better hormones, better cholesterol, reduced blood pressure, improved cellular function or mitochondrial function, improved micronutrient status, a reduced risk overall of any cardiac event, better digestion, healthier gut bacteria, and essentially just feeling better. So enhanced mental clarity and focus was a big reported benefit too.
And we have had so many past group coaching clients on here with us, as we've mentioned, which we are so grateful for, that they are just kind of lifelong teammates in these ongoing group programs that we do. And so we want you guys, if you're out there in the comments, in the chat, please let everyone know that you are back for more for a reason. If you have never tried group coaching before and maybe you're a little apprehensive about what that's like, we can guarantee you that you're going to love it. A lot of people who have joined us not really knowing what they were getting into fully and maybe not fully convinced that group coaching was as powerful as it is, really had their opinions changed through programs like this. So if you guys are out there, definitely be our hype people right now. Let them know how amazing it is and, really just how much engagement and support you get through this. These programs are so valuable and we put our hearts and souls into them to help you guys debunk all those complicated equations out there that really, result in better health. We know that it's information overload out there and you really don't know who to trust and who to listen to. So we want you guys to know that we have your back and we are always looking at the science to come up with the best solutions and the best programs like this one to heal people. And that's what we're really good at doing. So the value of this, it's $497, which is a steal of a deal in my opinion for all that you're getting. Reusable meal and recipe guide, lifetime access to the Facebook group and videos. So again, you pay once and you can join us again in the future, time and time again. You can join us during future challenges, daily coaching support and accountability, education on the why and the how of fasting, supplements that enhance your success, and much more that I can't even describe here.
And I did go ahead, Christina, while you're wrapping up, I just shared the offer. So if you want to click the link and just kind of peruse that while we're wrapping up, please do.
Yes. So we posted, you should see a link pop up now that will take you to the page where you can purchase this program if you're interested in joining us. We also have some time here for Q&A. So we want to take a chance to go through the chat and see if there were any questions we didn't get to. I know Laura and Allie and Colette and some of our other friends are out there answering questions. So thank you so much. But if you have questions we haven't gotten to, please throw those in the chat right now.
Yeah, one of the big ones that I've seen repeatedly is this question of how it helps cholesterol. And if you joined Dr. Wolfson and our webinar a few weeks ago, essentially he actually showed an example of it. So we know that atherosclerosis and plaque, it's made up of that bad cholesterol. One of Dr. Wolfson's treatment modalities is to have people do water fasting. When you're water fasting, your body breaks down cellular debris and kind of that bad material and eats it up and then disposes of it. And so it's actually really helpful for shifting cholesterol and getting numbers down and improving those ratios. And so we use that therapeutically to target cholesterol. So that's why Christina said it's beneficial for cholesterol.
Yes. And someone asked, how does this help arrhythmias? Sharon asked, how does this help arrhythmias? So in a few ways, but one that we're going to talk a lot about is the benefits of autophagy. So this is kind of a buzzword you may be familiar with if you've read up on fasting in any capacity. Basically, it's this cellular turnover process where we are kind of eliminating and moving out damaged and defective cells and replacing with new and healthier cell components. So that is really how we're able to heal heart arrhythmias in that sense. But also a huge piece of this is improving your body's stress response. So a lot of heart arrhythmias come from a dysregulated nervous system response. Again, just a maladaptation to our environments and to stress. Stress in the body, stress in our environment, all of these things that kind of cumulatively impact us over the lifespan. So the more that we can impact your body's stress resiliency in multiple ways, again, exercise is one of the ways we do that. Fasting is a really great way to do that. Temperature therapies are a great way to do that. All of these things are going to benefit your nervous system resiliency to adapt to your environment and not losing that stress resiliency, which helps your nervous system to appropriately respond to environmental changes and stressors. So that's how this really helps improve heart arrhythmias, and we have seen it happen. This is a great program for anyone who has atrial fibrillation, any type of heart arrhythmia like that or similar. This is a really great program for you.
Yes. Another thing that people are asking is kind of how they get into the group. So essentially the process is, again, I share the offer. If you purchase, when you purchase, then we send you, Christina and I send you a welcome email with all the details. So we provide you that direct link to get added to that Facebook group, which is only for you guys. We also then will send out the big meal guide. And again, all these resources that will be sent via email and then again housed in the Facebook group.
Susan said, even at age 80, absolutely. Any age you can make these changes. And honestly, again, the sooner you make the change and the commitment, the better. But any age you can do this. Our bodies are designed to heal. Our bodies really have innate mechanisms that allow us to do this. We just have to know what those things are and harness those benefits. And so again, this program is deeply rooted in the science of how we can hack those things in the body that help us to heal faster.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, Christina, but Steve shared because you were asking people to share, and Steve just worked with us, but he was saying, I first did this in January 2021. What drew me into it was the fact that you didn't just give us foods to eat or not to eat, but exactly what to eat to complete with recipes and exactly a day-by-day meal program. And he lost 21 pounds in 21 days. So it was spectacular. Yeah.
Yes, you had awesome results. And you've also joined us in multiple programs, which I love. So again, we have a lot of people out there that I think have truly realize the impact that the coaching support and the group coaching environment can really allow you to harness. No matter where you live, you can connect with people all over anymore thanks to technology. So that's what we're here to kind of use the benefits of and connect more people that are like-minded and want to have these success stories, but maybe don't know where to start. And, we're really here to help guide you through step-by-step, give you, again, not just exactly what to eat, but, the recipes, the day-by-day, also kind of how we'll give you kind of solutions at the end of the program for how you can continue this, kind of options for what to move on forward with so that we're not just stopping at the end of the 21 days. We have a plan of action at every point.
Yeah, so we have a few more minutes if you guys want to post any other questions.
Brad asks, he's currently waiting on AFib labs to come back, and he'll be going over those with a member of us coaches, which is awesome. He said, would starting this program help me get started on getting off all the meds I'm currently on for AFib and to lose weight? Absolutely, Brad. Yes. You are a perfect candidate for this program. Get a jump start on your after labs that you're going to be doing probably in 3 to 6 months here by joining this program. It's going to really fast track you to that success. And then when you do have an opportunity to review those labs with one of us coaches, we're going to be able to further kind of personalize what we're doing for you too, including, different supplements that might be more aimed towards what's going on in your labs and your body, and how we can just kind of get you on this fast track to success and healing. And, us coaches don't directly help people get off medications, but there's a lot of roundabout ways that happens that we do often share about in our programs. And we do, give you a lot of support in that process if you're trying to get off medications and working with a doctor to do so. We have done this a lot with people to support them in, going through that process. So even though we can't do it directly, we can help aid you in that process and that progression. And again, Dr. Wolfson and Dr. Latanza are going to be in the group. So we are going to have more of a doctor perspective in there as well, which is great.
Yes, yep. And it's so good too. I see people just saying kind of these conditions that again are rooted in inflammation. And I was telling a patient that yesterday. I was like, this program would solve everything. And it's back to the basics. Like we're literally just telling you to not eat, to regenerate your cells and to make them function and to drive down inflammation. So it does solve these kind of things, whether that's psoriatic arthritis, I see again, or AFib. That is why it's instrumental. Yeah, and I see Jerry was saying, can a diabetic fast? And then Colette replied, yes, I'm diabetic, fast all the time. It gets rid of the stored sugar. So yeah, that's another big thing. We're telling you a lot of these conditions are reversible with the right practices. And we're going to teach you how to do this safely. So whether you're on certain meds or you have these certain conditions, we will likely talk about it. We have a guide. We actually have instruments too for doing this safely, telling you what numbers to look for. We have you covered to make it a safe and kind of clinically successful fast period. And Brad was saying he's going to get signed up now. Awesome.
Yeah. And Brad, you also said that you're a truck driver with extreme irregular hours and will that hinder anything? We can help support you through that. I know everyone has their own unique circumstances that they have to kind of navigate through to make things like this program work in their lifestyle. And that's another thing us coaches and the support we give are really great to help with is to troubleshoot, come up with solutions so that you can make this work. There's not any single reason that you shouldn't be able to do this program. We can always kind of fit it to you and cater to you and help you come up with solutions to fit this in. And I think also just being able to optimize, even if you are working a job that has super irregular hours, we can do all that we can with meal timing and light exposure and stress mitigation and things like that to optimize your circadian rhythms, even though they're getting a little wonky on that schedule, I'm sure. So really this program could help you a lot in that, Brad.
We actually had a truck driver who was like he was like huge in the program, which if you join, you'll see. And he was always sharing all these really creative ways that he was getting the diet.
He'd be like at truck stops doing his little nitric oxide dump workouts. And
he was so inspiring. Getting the cold therapy. Yeah. So again, we talked about everything.
On the road.
Yeah. So that'll be cool to see.
Yes. So you are not alone in being in that unique schedule circumstance, Brad. There is going to be lots of support for you in this.
And Karen said, what if you don't need to lose weight? So again, we're going to talk about this all, and we don't want to give too much away, but we'll talk about this. That's okay. You can still join the program, and you're encouraged to do that. Even people who are wanting just to maintain their healthy weight, they should still fast. It's a cleansing mechanism. It is your detox to make sure the cells work.
And same with, I know you got to ask the question too, Karen, about avoiding constipation. Through our daily Q&As and our live presentations, we do a lot of education around avoiding, again, kind of those common pitfalls that people experience with fasting or keto or any of these therapies. So we are constantly helping you to address and mitigate any of those things that could potentially happen. So we do a lot to support you through it.
And someone was asking about, they might not be able to do it this May, but when is it offered again? So this is actually the only time this year that I know of that we're currently going to be offering this. What I wanted to say was, if you can't join the lives, that's okay. Like that doesn't take away from the program. And I think that was something to share. Like in the past, again, we had truck drivers, all these busy people. You can watch the recordings at the end of the day when you're done with work. Like, hopefully somehow, a lot of you can still make it work. Even if you can't join the lives, we're going to be there for you at all times of the day. So, yeah. Yeah.
And even if you watch the live later after it's already been posted and you add a question in the comments section, we're going to come back and answer that still. So even if you didn't get to ask it to us while we were live, we will still be addressing everything on that page. So you can still have live interaction with us no matter what.
Yeah, and again, heart issues like palpitations, AFib, arrhythmias, this coaching helps. Somebody was asking that, like Christina said. it is working to fix the underlying kind of inflammation and perhaps the stress state and the kind of weakened state. This program does. And this diet is actually instrumental for arrhythmias because it's providing the high fat that comes in and strengthens your cells and keeps all the minerals intact and helps you have a healthy heart rhythm. So it's really beneficial for that.
And Lori asked, do you know what time we're going to be meeting each day? So the Q&As and the presentations we're going to be doing at, correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley, but 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, is that correct?
Yep.
Yes. It's going to be 12 Eastern Time every day, Monday through Friday. So, and again, if you missed the live, it's totally fine. You can go back and watch it. It stays up on the page, and you can add comments in the comment section to ask your questions still of anything you have questions about within that live, or, anything. You can make posts on the group page too when anything comes up, and we're going to be there to respond.
Exactly. Well, yeah, we're happy to continue. If you have more questions, definitely email us too. We're going to be around, but we really hope that you are going to join us because it's fun, but also you get the results, and we're going to be there to guide you day after day.
Yes. If you have questions, send them to our office email address, which I will put in the comments. It's health, HEALTH, at naturalheartdoctor.com. Send them there, and someone from our office will get those questions relayed over to us coaches, and we can answer any questions that you guys have. If you're unsure if this program is for you for any reason that we didn't cover today, please reach out. We definitely want to give you guys all the chances you can to learn about this program and how it can help you. And we're also just very grateful that you guys spent your evening with us learning about this topic of cardiometabolic flexibility, what to eat, when to eat, how this program can help in all of those respects. So thank you for spending your time with us. If you know us and you've done a program with us before, hopefully you know how much Ashley and I truly care and really love our jobs and love what we do here. So we always get very, very pumped to share this stuff with you guys and just continue our passion of coaching.
Yes. And for those of you that I see, you told me you signed up. We're excited to meet you and join you.
We got some signups. We got some new buddies. We're so excited.
It's going to be so fun. So join us again. And I think too, ideally you join us sooner rather than later because we want to get those supplements to you. I think the cutoff was like April 22nd. So like in 2 days, you kind of want to make that decision so we can get those to you because we're going to use them to prep and get the body ready. So definitely join us. Brad just signed up. Awesome.
Yeah, get some extra time too to get the things on the shopping list for week 1, all that good stuff. So sign up, and reach out to us with questions. Once you're in the Facebook group, even the week before the challenge, we're in there answering questions and getting you guys all ready for success, ready for the first day. So we hope to see you guys there. And again, thank you for joining us tonight. This has been our pleasure to share this information with you guys. We are going to be hopping on another live probably later in the week. So if you guys are still on the fence about this and want to hear more information, more kind of just who's good for this program, who's not, join us later in the week. Stay on the Facebook page, Natural Heart Doctor, and we'll see you guys around there.
Bye, guys.